Hello and welcome to Digging the Coast 365. We're at, where are we? Battle Abbey. Excuse me. Battle Abbey. Basically where the Battle of Hastings was. Ironically, the Battle of Hastings wasn't in Hastings, it's actually in Battle, which is next door to Hastings. I'm bringing you around here. Now, the reason I'm not digging, it's not that I'm giving up on it or anything. There's a few reasons. Firstly, the tide isn't in my favour today. It would mean I'd have to go out about 4 o'clock, which would mean I wouldn't be able to get my editing done in time to post videos. Secondly, I've no internet, so I'm having to spend like 3 hours just sat in the car whilst my videos are uploading. There was another reason. Oh yeah, the other reason, I'm not sure I'm allowed to even dig here because I don't think my permit allows you to do Hastings, so I'm not sure on the legalities either. So I brought you to the Battle Abbey, and then I'm meeting up with a guy who looks like he's got very, very strange hair on his Facebook pictures, so I can't wait to see him. And he's going to take us to where the real battle was. Apparently it wasn't here, it's a bit of a lie, so we'll check that out. Let's get inside. So now I'm standing in the battlefield itself. This is supposedly the battlefield. As I say, the guy who's meeting me later on, he says this wasn't the battlefield, so I don't know. But this is what everyone else thinks. They think this is the battlefield. Now, if you don't know the story about 1066, about the Battle of Hastings, let me be the one to tell you, because I know all about my history. I'm a professional. Basically, you had William the Conqueror from France, from Normandy, and you had King Harold of England. Now, King Harold was the best king we've ever had. He was really cool, he was tall, he was handsome, he was really funny, he was just a perfect top guy. Everyone liked him. We'd had some rubbish kings before him, but we finally got a good one in Harold. Anyway, Harold told William he could have the throne, he could be the King of England, because he got in a shipwreck near Normandy, and William looked after him while he were over there, and he says, you know, you can be king, you can have it. And then he went against his word, and he became king, did Harold. So William, he was a bit cheesed off with William. He didn't like it at all. He says, hey, you told me I was going to be king. He says, yeah, but you know, I've changed my mind. I want to be king now, it sounds pretty good. You know, I get lots of cake and crowns and stuff. So William goes to the Pope and says, hey Pope, would you mind if we attacked this guy, this King Harold in England, because I'm meant to be king and he's taken over and it's not fair. So Pope says, yeah, go for it. So William and his men went over to England looking for Harold. Harold were busy. He were up at Stamford Bridge, which is near where I live. He was up there fighting another battle which he won, and he found out that William were down south waiting for him. So he came charging down south, 250-mile march, so they were a bit tired when they got here, and they were on top of this hill with the English army and Harold. The French were down here. Now, basically, the French tried to attack the English, but they were on top of the hill, they couldn't get past them. The English were too hard and too cool and sexy and stuff. So, what they did is a very typical French thing. They ran away. The French ran away, made it look as if they were retreating, ran away. The English, thinking that they'd won the battle, chased after them, came down off the hill, and then the French turned round and got them on level ground and started throwing arrows up in the air and stuff and killing people. And that's what happened. And King Harold got killed with an arrow in his eye. Some people say that isn't true as well. Some people say it was a sword. Whichever, I'm not bothered, to be honest with you. I just don't like the tactics. I don't like the fact that William and his men ran away and then came back. That's cheating. That's cheating. So yeah, King Harold, he's the man. William, he's a pig. We don't like him. Anyway, moving on. That's the story. Just thought I'd tell you. So this is the actual Abbey. which must have been absolutely huge, because apparently this is just where the sleeping quarters were and the toilets. That's all this part was. So the actual church itself must have been absolutely huge. So this part isn't as old as the Abbey. This is only from the 1800s. But this was actually an ice house. They used to collect ice throughout winter and store it in here for use in the summer. I'd have thought it had melted, but obviously not. And there's the entrance to the ice house. And next door is a dairy. As I say, these are quite modern really. Well, 1800s, modernish. One other thing I'd like to tell you about is the actual Abbey itself. It's built on a hill. Now, I got it wrong earlier. This is the top of the hill where the English army was supposedly, and the French were down in the field where I was stood. And they didn't want to build this here because of the hill. It was going to be too hard to build it. So they tried to do it a few hundred metres away from here. And then this horrible pig, William the Conqueror, says, no, I'm not having that, no, I want it at the exact spot where we kicked the butts. So they had to redo it and start again, and built it here. I don't like this Willie, do you? He's getting on my nipples. The more I read about him, the more I hate him. So this bit here, this gravelly bit, is the outline of where the church used to be. And the church was built here purposefully because William the Conqueror said this was the exact spot where Harold was killed. And he wanted it at the altar of the church. It's fascinating to see people leaving wreaths for the guy. You know, leaving wreaths for someone who died so long ago. That's where the monks slept. We're actually inside the Abbey itself now. The actual design of it's really nice. These archways are beautiful. So this room is where the novices were, where they were taught how to become monks. And it hasn't really changed. Big fireplace there. This is how they're saying it would have looked in the 13th century. Now it looks exactly the same to me. Apart from less monks. Not the most exciting place, is it? And that picture there gives you a better idea of what it would have looked like. That's from 1737. So that was Battle Abbey. Battle Abbey. It were rubbish. Now I've been joined, Boris and Mark. I thought it was going to be called John, but apparently he's banned from Facebook and he had to change his name by default or something, I don't know. Now, very interesting, Boris tells me that this isn't the real site of the Battle of Hastings. This is simply for tourists because it's off the main road to London or something, you were saying?
Yeah.
So they're going to take me to the proper battle. We'll see the proper battlefield. See you there. It'll be more interesting than this, I can assure you. Right, we're just walking down to where the real battlefield is. It's down there. It's there. Just saw this next to this church. Look at that, it's a metal gravestone. I've never seen a metal gravestone before in my life. Someone called Frank from 1910. So down here is a wall which was here during the Battle of Hastings. And this tree I'm walking around is over 2,000 years old. It's older than Jesus Christ and my mother. That is old. So I've just had a berry off the old tree. It's a yew tree, and I've never had these before, but they taste like little mini plums. They're really nice and sweet. They've got a little stone in the middle of them, and you just suck the outside off. A 2,000-year-old fruit. How cool! So this is the real Abbey. Forget what we saw earlier. This is the proper Abbey. It's 13th century. They built it here. How far did you say? 30 metres?
About 30 metres that way.
30 metres that way, 30 metres that way. But it never got fully completed because they moved it to where the fake one is, which I've just taken you round, which was rubbish. Just stood under this apple tree, and these two guys are enjoying their apples. Are they sweet?
Yeah,
Battle of Hastings.
Lovely, mate.
Really?
Yeah, beautiful.
I don't normally do fruit. In fact, I don't think I've had an apple since I was about 15. But I might give one a go. Right, so this is the real battlefield from Battle of Hastings. Not a hill. There were no hills involved. They fought on the flat land. Now, what happened, I know this because I'm a professional. I know everything about everything. Basically, Willie, right, he was camped, that's William the Conqueror to you. He was camped over there, that way somewhere, up that way, up there. He was camped up there, thousands of them. And this land was owned by Harold, King Harold's dad, okay? Harold wasn't around, so Willie was trying to get him really mad. So he came onto his dad's land and started raping and pillaging everyone and everything. And then Harold rushed down to come and have a fight. Now, Willie, what he did, quite cleverly, he had these massive thousands of men over here, but he sent a few boats, because that used to be sea, just at the other side of there. He sent a few boats down the sea to make Harold think that's where they were attacking, and then they attacked from the other side as well, and basically just kicked their heads in. Something like that. That's what you told me, wasn't it?
Yeah, more or less.
I've just translated it into proper English.
Yeah. The Saxons came down that way.
Saxons? What did they have to do with all?
The English came down that way.
Oh. Were we Saxon back then?
Yeah.
We were still Saxon?
It's Sussex. This area was Saxon.
Ah, okay.
I think Harold was the Saxon king.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Oh, I do now. I don't like not knowing something. By the way, we know all this because, well, everyone in this area actually knows it's true. But he knows a man of a man of a man of a man.
Secrets of the Norman invasion.
Yeah. There's a guy who's researched everything, like, for 1,000 years. He must be really, really old. And he's looked into everything, and it's been pinpointed to this field. In fact, they know it's here, because if you look at you can walk through the field, the sign, it says 1066 Bexhill Walk. So they know, and I bet they know at that museum as well, where they're charging £11 each and £1 for parking. So one thing I'm doing on this trip is teaching you things which nobody knows. I wouldn't have known if these guys hadn't contacted me. It's through doing this trip, people seeing what I'm doing, coming to meet me and telling me the truth about places. All you people who've been to the Battle of Hastings, you haven't been to the Battle of Hastings, you've just been to a field over in Battle. I've been to the real one. I feel very honoured to know the truth, and now you do too. Right, I'm going to tell you what happened now, Battle of Hastings and everything. William the Conqueror to you, he came on loads of boats up here, and this was all sea. He'd come whoosh straight up here to this point, and this is where they all camped. Harold and his men came down here, and they met here and had a big fight, and Harold died there. But this is where the Battle of Hastings Battle Abbey is. They've moved it here because this was a road going all the way to London, and it was to keep pilgrims coming. They wanted pilgrims to go to it to spend the money. So it's not real, forget that, cross that off, get yourself down here. Did I get that right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're just on the lookout for some fossils. We're not having any luck at all. But look at this I've just found. I found a little green thing. It's alive. Look at that. What is that? Someone tell me what that is, please. It's like a big green millipede snake. That is fantastic. Right on the... This used to be like the forest bed. the old ancient bed of the forest. And I've never seen a sea anemone before. Well, I've seen them on like wildlife programmes, but I've never seen one myself. And there's some down here, look. Look at them. Like big spongy things. And if you touch them, they close up. I just did it with that one and it felt like jelly. It was disgusting. So just here is where the ship, the Amsterdam, which I showed you in the museum the other day, that's where it went down in the 1700s. And I'm just coming right out here, right out onto this ancient bit. And just in this little hole here, I found a piece of wood. Look at the piece of wood. Someone tell me what that is off. It could be off the Amsterdam. It really could be that old. It's got a square hole there. Oh, that's just... no, that's not. I don't know, it's just a strange shape. It's got a hole down there. It's like a big club. Can anyone identify that? Is it something incredibly cool? It's got one of them thingies on it as well, look. Ugh. So that's the big story about the Battle of Hastings for you. I've taken you to the false Abbey, the false battleground, the real Abbey, the real battleground, with the experts. They know what they're talking about. We've just been looking for some fossils because we heard there was a landslide fall, rock thing fall. There's about 2 pebbles falling off a cliff and there's no fossils in it. But had a lovely time. Thanks for joining on Digging the Coast 365. See you all tomorrow. Say goodbye.
See you later.